Hi there, so this is a really quick tip for today, and this is for when you're thinking about your home being your long-term home. You're not planning to move out, you want to live maybe there for the rest of your life, you love the place, you love the location, maybe there are some things that you're wanting to do, you know it doesn't quite work for you, you want to extend it, you want to reconfigure it a bit. So if that's the case, you're planning to do some works to your home and alterations, and you're thinking this home is where I want to live the rest of my days, I want to be carried out in a box, then these are some things that you really are wise to consider now when you're doing renovations, when you're doing alterations, so that in the future things are simple and easy for you to change a bit further or to adapt if you need to, should the worst come to the worst. And that's really what I'm talking about today, is what do you plan for? How do you plan for possible worst case scenarios? So when you're thinking about your home being a lifetime home, you're talking about years, decades, and your life could change significantly in that time. So let me just quickly introduce me. I'm Jane, I'm a chartered architect. I work with homeowners who are eco-conscious and want to adjust their home in a way that suits their lifestyle and also helps them protect the planet. And I have been working with homeowners for over 10 years exclusively, and I have worked with people of all different ages, from very young couples who've just bought their first home to retired couples who have all their children have left home but they're coming back with grandchildren to visit, and everything in between. So I have seen a lot of different clients at different stages of their life, and there are lots of commonalities. Most people want a kitchen, most people want a bathroom, most people want somewhere to sleep, somewhere to eat, somewhere to sit and relax, somewhere to make something to eat, and somewhere to get washed and deal with those number ones, number twos, and all of that sort of thing. So these are common things that everybody has, but there are certainly things that as we age in our homes, there are some things that it's things that we don't necessarily want to think about. They can be difficult to think about, and it's the same sort of thing when you're getting married and you don't necessarily want to think of what would be the worst case scenario would be getting divorced, and those sort of the worst case scenario type thinking, and what to plan or what things you can put in place so that so should the worst come to the worst, you don't need to really worry about it. So some of the things that you can do to your home as you're reconfiguring it to help make sure that should the worst come to the worst, I mean, this could happen to anybody. Maybe you break your leg, you have a car accident. I got crashed into yesterday and my car's been written off, and I've got a bit of a headache today, and so but I've got a headache, I've got pain, but I am not seriously injured. But there are so many accidents on the road, it's so easy to get seriously injured. This could happen to you at any point in your life. But certainly when you're thinking about living in somewhere for a very long time, for decades, then certainly there's much more opportunity for significant circumstantial changes in your life. And so if you can make sure that you've got things in place so that should the worst come to the worst, it's not that your home is still going to be a good place for you to be, it's still going to be a supportive environment for you to live as best a life that you can, then you've done the best for yourself, really thinking long term. So some of the things that you can do are to consider access and different kinds of access. So the worst case scenario may be that you would be in a wheelchair, or that you would be struggling to get up and down steps. I've got my little one coming in here to say hello. Hi, you okay? Well, so we might hear some noises in the background. I apologise for that. So things like being able to have a shower downstairs and to be able to go to the toilet downstairs. You might not want to have a shower in at the moment, but identifying a place where you could easily install a shower at a later date if you wanted to is a relatively simple thing to do when you're in the planning stages of a design, and it's much more difficult to do once you've got everything tightly designed and set up. So Maxim, love, could you stop knocking that, please? Thank you. So things like having a downstairs toilet, a downstairs shower, so that if you were struggling to get up and downstairs, that you could potentially sleep downstairs and get washed and dressed downstairs without having to go upstairs. Now, I have found when I've talked about this sort of thing with clients that often, hello love, this is often something that is of a concern even for younger couples where they have parents and their parents want to come and visit, maybe come regularly to visit their grandchildren, and they want to stay, and maybe their parents are struggling to get up and downstairs. So being able to have a guest space to stay, for anyone who's got sort of access to, yeah, that's great, lovely. Anyone who's got access difficulties to get up and downstairs, being able to accommodate, I can't right now, love. Being able to accommodate all your needs on the ground floor will really make it possible for your home to support you at all stages of your life. Another thing that you can do to make things a lot easier is to have wider doors. So standard size doors are really far too narrow to be able to get in and out with a wheelchair. So if you simply make all your ground floor doors wider, about 800 to 900, ideally 900 mil, so that's just shy of 1 meter wide, then you're going to be able to much more easily get in and out. And this benefits you in so many ways. You know, there's a lot of design thinking has gone into accessible design. And to be honest, this doesn't just help people who are struggling with access from the point of view of perhaps needing a mobility aid like a wheelchair. This can really help so many people. It helps you to get big pieces of furniture in and out of rooms. Maxim, love, could you just go out of the room for now, lovey?
Why?
Because you're making quite a lot of noise, my darling. Yeah? I'm just speaking to people and this here, and they can hear a lot of noise. Do you want to come and say hello?
Yeah.
Okay, you can come here and say hello if you like. So having wider doors can help you. It can help you push chairs with young children, help you get big pieces of furniture, like I said. So it can also, if you've got a nice wide door, you can having that open can enhance your feeling of connection between different rooms, and that could be enough to feel like there's an element of almost open plan, or what's more quite popular at some points. I don't know if that's still the fashion right now. It's not really a fashionable thing, but architecture is not. In terms of fashion and architecture, that's kind of, there's some interesting parallels, but that's for another day, conversation about that. Having sort of broken plan spaces where you're slightly open between one room and another can add to, you know, enhance the sense of flow, the sense of space that you've got. So having that, you know, a big wide door, and even making more of a feature of it and taking the height of the door much higher than a standard door can really add a really nice design quality to your space, as well as making it easier to get in and out and move between one room and another and open up the space. Then think about certainly particularly smaller rooms, say a utility room or a guest loo or a cloakroom. Any smaller rooms that you have, it's best to make sure that there's at least enough space to be able to turn around in a wheelchair. So you want a kind of to be able to draw a circle of about 1.2 to 1.5 meters clear, so that you could, the smaller the circle, the more difficult it is to turn, but you want to be able to make sure that you've got that extra space. And to be honest, in the circumstance that you don't need to be using this space in a wheelchair, having that extra space just makes it easier for you to move around. There's more room to move without bumping into things, and you can feel freer in your space. And then the final bit to this is to think about how you get in and out. So think about steps and ramps to your external doors. Things like grab rails and certain things, they don't have to look awful, because sometimes they do look really awful, but you can have things, railings and different things near steps and doors that can really help everybody. You know, young children can need help to get up and down steps just as much as you know, more frailer older people might have that need, or anybody of any age who's got some sort of a struggle with getting up and down steps. Having something to be able to hold on to whilst you're doing that can make that so much easier. And those things are easy to sort of add on at a later date as they need to be, but things like steps and ramps are not necessarily so easy. So if you're thinking about somewhere long term to live, then you want at least to have one way of getting in and out of your home easily without a struggle and a battle, because you know, otherwise that's key thing, isn't it? You want to get in and out of where you live. Right, I've got an excited child here running around playing with toys and making a lot of noise in the background, so I apologise for the noise, and I'm going to have to go, and I'll see you again next Friday. Bye for now.